What's up, Internet? This is Car Talks. Today's thought is, I know who built the pyramids. I know who did it. I know what kind of people they were. You know, we don't know who, but little clickbaity, but hear me out. I've spent at least 5 years like heavily obsessively studying, you know, pyramids in ancient Egypt and other ancient cultures, and what I've gathered is, changes the way that I look at the world. Egypt is so old, and there's been so many different civilizations living in that area. It's so complicated, and you have to have someone who knows what they're looking at to sift through different time periods and to look for specific things. And I credit Brian Forrester. He's got a YouTube channel. Ben from Uncharted X. He is an awesome investigator. Bright Insight is another guy, Jimmy from Bright Insight. And you need those kinds of people to point out specifically megalithic architecture. Megalithic architecture, and that is large pieces of stone that are cut in a solid piece and moved in ridiculous ways. And one of the greatest examples is the stone boxes in Saqqara, the Serapeum, I think it's called. It's an underground tunnel with these gigantic granite, just stone boxes, and they're perfectly, something that it would be challenging today, but I'm sure we could do it today. But these huge blocks of stone that are cut, there's like an inside cut, and then there's like lids that go on them too. Some of them have lids, some of them don't have lids. There's one that was actually something had happened in the construction, and there was a piece that was in between stages where it was being transported, but it hadn't been finished yet. So we know that they cut these pieces, they moved them underground in these tight ass corridors, and they would put them in their little niche in their position, and then they would do the finishing work. Which suggests that there are separate specialists. There's separate specialists. There's the people who, just like today, you get a lot of the answers of like this stuff, like how they move these stones from today, because we do some pretty amazing stuff. Like, well, what do we do today? You know, they would have someone coring, and coring is a specialty. Solid pieces, not like little tiny pieces, like solid pieces of rock, like granite, hard rock. And then you would have to transport it, and a lot of these stones are lifted up like hundreds of feet up in the air. Okay, you know, I don't see some dinky little pulleys. I do think that there was some sort of pulley system, but it had to been gigantic. It had to be like the system and the things moving had to be bigger than the stones, because the way these things are built, like parts of the pyramid, not the outside, the inside, and a lot of the other sites around Egypt and Peru and other places, these large pieces are put together like they were Legos for a kid. I'm not saying giants, but you can tell it was effortless for them, and they did what they needed, what was required of them to do to complete the task. And going 500 miles away to get specific granite, and then transporting it 5 miles or 500 miles away is just, it's almost science fiction, to quote Brian Forrester. And man, whoever these people were, they were master architects, master mathematicians, they were master cosmetologists. I think that's the word. They were masters of the sky. A lot of these buildings have to do with constellations and marking certain things in the sky. It's absolutely, like, it's next level thinking. The people who did this, like, what they were thinking about was, they were the gods. That's what we still refer them to, the gods. You're not like small g, you know, not like the god, but like you're able to do things that other people can't do, basically. You're able to create mind-blowing, just like unbelievably difficult architecture. And for what? Because they wanted to make it last. It's a time capsule, man. The pyramid, all the pyramids, all these, it's a time capsule. That's what it is. It contains information that is hidden, but if you know about it and if you know to look for it and you start piecing it together, like eventually its answers will reveal itself. Like just the height, width, the perimeter of the pyramid, those all like multiplying to each other. Let's see, what is it? It's the height, the base of the pyramid, the perimeter, and the slope. Multiply those numbers by, I think it's 72,300 or a specific number, and you start unlocking like mathematic, genius, and the number pi is repeated over and over and over again in a lot of the measurements. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if the placement of the pyramid is the coordinates of, it turns out it's like the speed of light. It's like the same number. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but whoever these people were, they were absolutely next level. God, they were gods. They were master architects. I just wish I can go back in time and just what it must have been like to live in that period, because it is lost to most people. It's a lot of history is just completely lost, like it'll never be known. But there used to be a global civilization that was traveling all around the world doing amazing things, and I want to know what happened, because humanity has risen and evolved, but where we're at now, I think we're at a fork roads, and at a fork road, and it can go either way. I don't got a good feeling about what's going on in the world, as far as the COVID and global affairs and you name it. So that's my spiel today. If you enjoyed it, sorry about the sun. If you think I earned a subscription, subscribe. Peace. Thank you. Bye.